Hello boys and girls, a very good afternoon and welcome to this live session about quick update brought to you by TalentSprint. Now I'm sure all of you are aware of the fact that the Reserve Bank of India Services Board has released the notification for RBI Grade B officers. Yes, the much awaited notification for the recruitment of Grade B officers in RBI, that is the Reserve Bank of India, has been released, and there are a total of 166 vacancies across three different categories or three different types of posts. So I am here to quickly discuss about this notification, right? Remember, the online application starts today and it ends on 23rd of July, right? It starts today, which is 3rd of July, and the last date to apply for this exam is 23rd of July. So you have a period of about 21 days, close to 3 weeks, to apply for RBI Grade B officers exam. So I'm gonna share a few important details from the notification that I have in my hand now. You can download this notification from RBI's official website, which is rbi.org.in, right? www.rbi.org.in, right? So here's a copy of the same, which I have downloaded from the website, and let's quickly look at all the important things that you must know before you go and apply for this exam. Okay, so like I said, the important dates are about the application. It starts today, 3rd of July, and it will end on 23rd of July, and it's going to be an online application. So you just have to make sure that you complete the application and also make the payment, application fee payment, within this time frame. Okay, now there are three different posts for which the recruitment is going to be conducted, right? Three different posts, all are Grade B officers, right? Officers in Grade B. Now the three different categories are direct recruitment, then again direct recruitment in the Department of Economics and Policy Research, and direct recruitment in the Department of Sciences and Information Management. Okay, and each of these posts has its own selection process, right? The scheme of exam, the type of questions asked, the areas covered are all different for each of the categories. So I'll quickly talk about that, but then before we move into it, let's look at the important dates. So the officers in Grade B, the general recruitment, direct recruitment, will be done over two phases, right? Phase 1 is an online examination, phase 2 is also an online exam, and these exams would be conducted on 16th August and 7th September respectively, right? 16th August and 7th September. So if you look at it, from today, which is 3rd of July, to 16th August, you have less than 45 days. Less than 45 days for the phase 1 online exam of RBI Grade B officers. And that will be immediately followed by the phase 2 exam, which will be held on 7th of September. Again, let me tell you, this is only for the direct recruitment category. There are two more posts there. One is, like I said, Department of Economics and Policy Research, right? DEPR, and then there is DSIM, Department of Statistics and Information Management. So for each post there is a specific eligibility criteria and there is a specific scheme of examination. So we'll get into those details in a few minutes from now. Then for the recruitment of officers in Grade B for DEPR, which is Department of Economics and Policy Research, the exam will happen again in, there are three different exams. Basically, there are three different papers that you have to take part in: paper 1, paper 2 and paper 3. So paper 1 will be an online exam which will be held on 16th August, again the same date as phase 1 of DR, and paper 2 and 3 will be held on September 6th or September 7th, which will be notified through the admit card. Similarly for DSIM, the paper 1 online exam will be on 16th August and paper 2 and 3 will be held on 6th and 7th September. Again, it will be notified, confirmed through the admit card. So dates are very important. Remember, less than 45 days for your phase 1 examination, and I'm sure most of you here are looking out for the DR category, right? The direct recruitment category there, for which the syllabus is in line with what is usually asked in most of the other bank exams, right? IBPS exams and the SBI exams. Now let's look at the other details, right? Let's if I have to talk about the number of vacancies, the total number of vacancies are 166 openings, of which 127 are in DR, 22 are in DPER, and 17 are in DSIM. And you know what this DR, DEPR and DSIM, right? DR is the direct recruitment of officers. DEPR is again a direct recruitment, but for officers who've got a specialization in economics, right? DEPR stands for Department of Economics and Policy Research. And there are 17 vacancies in DSIM. DSIM again is recruitment in the Department for Statistics and Information Management. And for this, you have to have, you must have done a specialization in statistics or its equivalent. So total 166 vacancies, maximum 127 in DR category, and 22 and 17 in DEPR and DSIM respectively. Now, again, out of these vacancies, there are reservations, right? Some are reserved for SCs, some are reserved for STs, and then there are some reservations for candidates belonging to PWDs, etc. You can just refer to the notification if it is applicable for you and get those details. Let us look at the eligibility criteria, right? That's very, very important. So what is the eligibility criteria? Now, nationality, usually it's, the candidate must be a citizen of India or Nepal or Bhutan or a Tibetan refugee, and other details have been given there. Just go through that point. I'm sure you don't really have to worry about that criterion there. Age limit is important. It says a candidate must have attained the age of 21 years and must not have attained the age of 30 years as on 1st of July 2018. Right? So you should be in this age bracket of 21 to 30. You should be more than 21 years old and less than 30 years old as on 1st of July 2018. Right? And this actually means that the candidate must be born not earlier than 2nd July 1988 and not later than 1st July 1997. Right? So those who all have the dates of birth before 2nd July 1988 and after 1st July 1997 are not eligible for this particular recruitment. Again, for those who have their master's or the doctorate degree, right, the MPhil or PhD, there is an upper age limit of 32 and 34 years respectively, right? So for those who are just graduates, the age limit is 30, but if you have done your MPhil, let's say in economics or statistics or whatever that specialization is, your age limit is going to be 32, and if you have done a PhD, then it's 34 years. Again, certain relaxations in terms of age as well, which you can look at in the notification in detail. What is really very important is the educational qualification, right? Now, you have to have certain educational qualification for you to be eligible to apply for this recruitment, right? So let's start with the officers in grade B, the direct recruitment category, the general category basically. Now, in the general category, look at what it says. The minimum educational qualifications. A minimum of 60% marks or an equivalent grade in bachelor's degree as well as in 12th or diploma or equivalent and 10th standard examinations. So you should have scored a minimum of 60% in your 10th standard, in your intermediate or diploma or its equivalent, right, or your 12th standard, and 60% again in your bachelor's degree, right? So 60% is the cutoff. Now you know that usually in bank exams these days the education qualification just required is just a graduate. I mean, there's no minimum percentage of marks as such, but in this case they say you have to have scored a minimum of 60% not only in your graduation but also in 12th and your 10th standard examinations. And by the way, there's a 50% criteria for those who belong to SC, STs or PWBDs, right? So there is reservation here as well. I mean, some relaxation here for those who belong to those reserved categories. So 60% is the minimum requirement, right? And of course, it says the minimum qualifying percentage or an equivalent grade for bachelor's degree will be in aggregate for all semesters or years. Okay. Now I can see some comments here. I've got 57% in 12th. Parul Sharma, you are not eligible for this particular recruitment. It very clearly says that you have to have a minimum of 60% unless you are from any of these categories, SC, ST or PWBD. Okay, so you cannot apply if you have less than 60% in any of these three levels, 10th standard, 12th standard or your bachelor's. Now when it comes to the other two categories, right? DEPR and DSIM. We have talked about the general category now. General category, the minimum requirement is 60% in bachelor's, 12th and 10th. Let's look at the other category, right? Which is DEPR, the Department of Economics and Policy Research. Now here, the minimum requirement is a master's degree. It's not a it's not a bachelor's degree, but a master's degree in economics, econometrics, quantitative economics, mathematical economics, integrated economics course, finance with a minimum of 55% marks or an equivalent grade in aggregate of all semesters or years from a recognized Indian or foreign university. So basically it has to be some stream associated with economics of the given streams here. So you have to have a master's in economics, right? You have to have a master's in economics. And then of course relaxations are there for those who are from these reserved categories. So just go through that if you are really opting for that that particular post, right? The officer's post in DEPR. Similarly, for the officer's post in DSIM, the essential criteria is to have a master's degree in statistics or mathematical statistics or mathematical economics or econometrics or statistics and informatics from IIT Kharagpur, alright, or applied statistics and informatics from IIT Bombay with a minimum of 55% marks or an equivalent grade. So I think you can look at the other two posts, right, DPR and DSIM, only if you are opting for it, right? The details are all given in the notification, but I'm sure most of you would be opting for the general post, right? The officer's grade B general direct recruitment. For them, the minimum qualification is what? You have to have a bachelor's degree with a minimum of 60% marks, and the 60% is minimum 60% is required also in your 12th standard as well as 10th standard. Okay, I'm sure it's pretty straight there, so no confusions. Don't ask what if I've got 59.5% in my 12th standard. You are not eligible, as simple as that. What if I've scored 59.9 in my 10th standard? You are not eligible, as plain as that. Okay. Of course, if you are from any of those reserved categories, then there is a relaxation, right? You have to have a minimum of 50% in that case. So just check it yourself. Now moving on to the selection of examination. By the way, there's another important item here, which is the number of attempts. Let me read it out. It says, candidates belonging to unreserved or general category who have already appeared 6 times for phase 1 examination for this post in the past are not eligible to apply. So if you have already appeared in the RBI grade B phase 1 examination 6 times, then you are not eligible to apply. And this is only for those who belong to the general category, right? There is no such restriction for candidates belonging to SC, ST, OBC or PWBD if the posts are reserved for them. Yeah. So very, very important. Only 6 attempts in the phase 1 are allowed. So if you have already attempted or appeared 6 times in the phase 1 exam, then you are not allowed to appear this time. Now, online examination centers and all that is not of much significance here. Let me jump to the selection of, the scheme of examination, right? How to apply all that, you can just check it yourself. The general instructions and all the other details there. Let us look at how do you get ready for this exam. Not how do you apply. How do you apply is going to be a fairly simple process. You can just go through the notification. What we are looking at is how to get ready for this exam. You have less than 45 days. Remember, August 16th is the date of exam, right? August 16th. So just after the very next day of our Independence Day this year, you will be appearing in the phase 1 exam for RBI grade B general category or the paper 1 for RBI grade B DEPR and DSIM, right? Should we now move on to the scheme of selection and the syllabus? Well, the best part of this notification or the recruitment by RBI, right, the Reserve Bank of India Services Board, is they gave a detailed syllabus. So you don't really have to worry about what would be asked, what would not be asked, right? It's very clearly specified here for each section. So you can just refer to that and get ready accordingly. Now let me focus more on the general recruitment there, right? RBI Grade B officers, not the specializations of economics and statistics, because I'm pretty sure most of you would be appearing only for the general category. Those who all are planning to appear in economics or statistics, that is DETR or DSIM, they can just go through the details on page number 21 and 22. Now, let me give you the details about the online exam. So it says, the selection will be through online examinations and interview. Examinations will be held in 2 phases as described in the following paragraphs. Look at this. Phase 1 is an online examination. It's an objective type. This will comprise a single paper for 200 marks and will be held on 16th August 2018. Depending on the number of candidates, the examination may be held in multiple shifts on same days and on some other days also, right? A candidate, however, has to appear for examination in only one shift of the given day. These are all known things to us, right? A candidate, however, has to appear for examination only one shift on the given day. The date, time and venue on which a candidate has to appear for the examination will be specified in the admission letter, which is to be downloaded by the candidate from our website. You know all this stuff, right? The corrected scores obtained by each of the candidates in different sessions, if held in different sessions, will be normalized using equi-percentile method. Now let's not get into these details of what equi-percentile method are or what normalization is, how does it work and stuff like that, right? I mean, I'm sure many of you will have this question in your mind now. And many times in the past also this question has been asked. The simple thing that I would want you all to focus on is your preparation and not worry about normalization, because that's not in your control. They have a standard formula which they'll apply and normalize the scores. Basically the funda is, if exam is conducted in different shifts, when there are too many applications, they have to conduct it in different shifts, right? So if exam is conducted in different shifts, we can't have the same difficulty level in each shift, right? A particular shift may be relatively easier than some other shift, the questions asked. So there is some normalization required in that case, because if that is not done, if the score correction is not done, then some candidates will have an unfair advantage. So to nullify that unfair advantage, what they do is normalization using some equi-percentile method, which we are not worried of and which you should not be worried about, right? Just give your best. Go to the examination, make sure that you maximize your score by answering all the questions with close to 100% accuracy. Okay. Now, the phase 1 examination will have a paper which will consist of general awareness, English language, quantitative aptitude and reasoning. A composite time of 120 minutes will be given for answering these questions, and the other detailed information regarding the examination will be given in an information handout which will be made available for the candidates to download along with the admission letter of examination from RBI's website. So when you download that bit card, they'll give you the other details with regards to this phase 1 examination, but it will have 4 sections: general awareness, English language, quantitative aptitude and reasoning. And if you go by the last year's pattern, see, there is a total of 120 minutes and 200 marks that we can score. It's very clearly given here, right? 200 marks. Where is it given 200 marks? Did I read 200 marks somewhere? Yeah, the first line said this will comprise a single paper of 200 marks. So 200 marks and 120 minutes. So basically there will be 200 questions. Each question will carry 1 mark and the composite time is 200 minutes. Now this is going to be different from an SBI or an IBPS exam, because you know that in SBI and IBPS we have sectional level time limit, but here there's a composite time of 2 hours. 2 hours you spend the way you want across 200 questions from 4 different sections. And now if I just quickly tell you about what happened last year, these 200 questions are not equally divided across 4 sections. What are the 4 sections? General awareness, quantitative aptitude, reasoning and English language. It's not 50 questions per section, right? The scheme is a little different here, or at least it was different last year. We had 30 questions in quantitative aptitude, 30 questions in English language, 60 questions in reasoning and 80 questions in general awareness. I repeat, 30 questions each in quantitative aptitude and English language, 60 questions in reasoning and 80 questions in general awareness. So 30 plus 30 plus 60 plus 80, 200 questions. Each question carries 1 mark, so 200 marks, and you have 120 minutes, which is 36 seconds per question, just about half a minute per question. So that's the paper 1 or the phase 1, and that's the most important phase in my view. I mean, the cream of all the candidates, the creamy layer will be called for the phase 2, right? They will have their own cutoff criteria and stuff. So based on that, candidates who secure minimum marks separately for each test as prescribed. See, it very clearly says that candidates have to secure minimum marks separately for each test as well as in aggregate as may be prescribed by the board. So the RBI Services Board will prescribe a cutoff score. There will be a section cutoff and there will also be an overall cutoff, right? Section cutoff and overall cutoff. So you have to secure that minimum marks as prescribed by the board to be called for the next round, right? So they will be shortlisted of phase 2, shortlisted for phase 2, and the minimum aggregate cutoff marks for being shortlisted for phase 2 of the examination will be decided by the board in relation to the number of vacancies, right? Roll number of the candidate shortlisted for phase 2 examination will be published on RBI's website tentatively within a week of phase 1 examination. So the phase 1 exam is scheduled for 16th August. 16th August we'll have the phase 1 exam within a week. So let's say by 23rd of August, you will have your results. And those who all clear the sectional and the aggregate cutoff will be called for the phase 2, which will also be an online exam. But then, look at the scheme here. So the phase 2 will be held on 7th September 2018, only for candidates who are shortlisted on the basis of results of phase 1. Now the phase 2 examination will be held in shifts. Candidates are required to appear for all the shifts. Separate admission letters will be issued for each shift. The timetable for phase 2 will be intimated to the candidates concerned along with the admit letter for phase 2. The phase 2 online examination will consist of 3 papers as under. Remember, phase 1 has got only 1 paper with 4 sections. The phase 2 will have 3 papers. What are these 3 papers? Paper 1 is economic and social issues. Paper 2 is English, which will test your writing skills. And paper 3 is finance and management. So 3 papers in phase 2. Each paper will be held in a different shift. You have to appear in each of the shifts. For each shift you will have your own admit card, the admission letter, which will be provided only to candidates who qualify. Right? I repeat, paper 1 is economic and social issues. It's an online examination, objective type. Right? MCQs. Paper 2 is English, which will test your writing skills. Now this is a descriptive paper and you have to type with the help of keyboard. So this is also an online exam. You have to give descriptive answers like letter writing, essay writing and other such topics. You have to type using a keyboard. It's not pen and paper based. And phase 3 is going to be finance and management, which also is an objective type, right? MCQs. Each phase or each paper will have a time of 90 minutes and the marks that can be scored are 100. So phase 2, to summarize, will have 3 papers, paper 1, paper 2 and paper 3. Paper 1 is economic and social issues, paper 2 is English language, paper 3 is finance and management. Paper 1, 2 and 3 all are online exams. However, paper 1 and paper 3 are objective in nature and paper 2 will be descriptive. And all 3 have to be answered using a keyboard and a mouse. So descriptive paper will not be pen and paper based. You have to type the letter or type the essay or answer the questions using the keyboard. For each paper, the time is 90 minutes and the marks that you can score are 100. Right? So I think that's about it. And those who all clear the phase 2 will be called for interview. The candidates will be shortlisted for the interview based on aggregate of marks obtained in phase 2, which is paper 1 plus paper 2 plus paper 3. Again, you will be called for the interview. The interview will be carrying a weightage of 50 marks and other stuff there. Right? Now the syllabus is also given for economic and social issues, for English writing skills, right? And for finance and management. I think there's no point in me reading it out here. You can go through the notification. Similarly, the scheme of examination has been detailed here for DEPR and DSIM categories also. I think you should just check it out. It's fairly simple. Paper 1 will be objective type on economics, paper 2 will be descriptive type on economics, and paper 3 will be English. The only thing is, in paper 2, which is a descriptive paper on economics, the question paper will be displayed on computer, but answers have to be handwritten. You have to write the answers on paper. Whereas paper 3 English, the answers have to be typed with the help of a keyboard. So that's the reason I don't want to confuse you guys by reading out the details here. If you are applying for that particular category, DEPR or DSIM, go through those details, otherwise just leave it. Yeah? I think that's about it. The other general instructions, how to apply, application fee, important dates, examination centers, right? The pre-examination training, reservations, relaxations, all those are given in the notification. You can just go through it yourself. Let me quickly summarize. Guys, the notification for recruitment of Grade B officers in Reserve Bank of India has been released. There are a total of 166 vacancies, maximum of which are in the general category, not just general category in terms of the reservations and all, in the general recruitment. There are 3 posts here, I can say, 3 different types of posts. General post, then post in DEPR, which is Department of Economics and Policy Research, and there are some posts in DSIM, Department of Statistics and Information Management. Okay, for you to apply for the general post, you have to have a bachelor's degree with a minimum of 60% marks in bachelor's, 12th and 10th, right? Of course, there are relaxations for those who belong to reserve categories. And for the other 2 categories, DEPR and DSIM, you have to have a master's degree in economics or equivalent and master's degree in statistics or equivalent respectively. Yeah. The scheme of exam is different for each of these posts. So just go through that scheme as applicable to you. For the general recruitment wala post, I think there are 2 phases. Phase 1, not I think, there are 2 phases. Phase 1 is an objective paper which will have 4 sections: general awareness, quantitative aptitude, reasoning and English language. Total 200 marks, composite time of 120 minutes. And the phase 2 will have 3 papers. Paper 1 on social and economic issues, paper 2 on English, paper 3 on finance and management. Okay, details are all available, just go through that. Remember, the application starts today, 3rd of July, and the last date to apply is 23rd July 2018. So please make up your mind and apply for this exam at the earliest possible. The phase 1 exam or the paper 1 for the other 2 categories will be held on 16th August 2018. So guys, you have less than 45 days to get ready for this exam, and I think you should start your preparation right away. And I think the one simple way of starting your preparation is to try out the free coaching by TalentSprint. You can sign up for the free coaching using this URL which is being shown below, right? talentsprint.com/RBI. So please sign up for the free coaching. You will have a lot of video lessons, live classes, practice tests, and discussion forums which you can access and get your basics concept right. So explore the free coaching by TalentSprint and leave no stone unturned. I think whether you enroll for the coaching at TalentSprint or not, you should start your preparation right away, because the early you start, the better your chances. Alright, so that's all from my end. I think it's a good news. Don't get disappointed looking at the number of vacancies. Okay, there are only 166 vacancies, right? The word only doesn't go along with 166, right? Only should be used only when there is one vacancy. There's only one vacancy, right? But there are 166 vacancies. So 165 are extra, which you can leave for others. That one vacancy is reserved for you if you do the right things with the right strategy and give your best shot. So have a positive attitude, prepare with full confidence, and I think all of you must apply for this exam without worrying about the result. Of course, there is a limitation on the number of attempts. So some of you may not want to waste your attempt, but then these trials are also very, very important, right? Your attempt would be wasted if you apply and don't prepare. But if you apply, prepare, and then go and appear in the exam, then it's not a waste of your attempt. Even if you fail, I think it's a very good learning experience. So don't take a wrong decision of not applying for the exam just because you think you'll be wasting your attempt there. Right? Prepare well and give it your best shot. Now let me quickly look at questions, if any, through the chat, and then we can close it off. Nitya says, which exam should I apply for? I'm an engineering graduate. Nitya, you should apply for the first post there, the grade B officers in the DR, the direct recruitment, which is the general post. You are not eligible for DEPR or DSIM because there you need to have a master's in economics or statistics respectively. Thirumalai has asked a question here. Forget about the amount of work required. Can one with limited banking knowledge pass the exam within 45 days? Yes, absolutely yes. If I have to forget about the amount of work required, then yes, you can definitely pass this exam. There's no second thoughts on that. I'm 100% sure 45 days is good enough a time to crack this exam if I have to forget about the amount of work required, right? But if I have to consider that, let me tell you, a lot of effort will be required in these 45 days for you to get ready for this exam, because while you might be preparing for the first time, there are candidates who are trying it out in the last 1, 2, 3 years, right? So they would be like definitely much more experienced than you are, and they have been preparing for last 2, 3 years, let's say. So they will definitely have an edge over you. But having said that, let me tell you, 45 days, even if you are starting your preparation now, is good enough time for you to get ready for this exam. Is negative marks there? Negative marks will be there. Don't worry about that. Om Prakash Sharma says, sir, in 10th I have scored 55%, but in 12th graduation and in MBA I have scored above 60%. Can I apply for RBI officers exam? Question mark, 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 question mark. Answer is no. Simple. 60% is the minimum criteria. If you belong to a reserved category as specified there, SC, ST or PWPD, then there is a relaxation. But otherwise, minimum 60% in 10th, 12th and your graduation. So I am sorry to say you are not eligible to apply for this exam if you belong to the general category. With a 55% score, of course. Number of vacancies कितने हैं? Number of vacancies 166 है. Let me see if there are any more questions. Saroj Sagar says, will our SBI preparation be enough for this exam to crack? Well, see, SBI preparation definitely will be useful for RBI Grade B examination as well, because you have the same set of sections here, right? Quantitative aptitude, reasoning, English language and general awareness. But I think the type of questions asked in general awareness here are a little different when it comes to when it is compared with the SBI exam. So pay some more time preparing for general awareness, and I'm sure you will have a lot of advantage if you have already prepared for SBI PO. Monica says, it's my dream job, hope for the best, need your blessings, sir. Well, not my blessings, I think all you need is your own hard work. Just leave no stone unturned. These 45 days are really very important. I'm sure if you do the right things, Monica, your dream job will become a reality. I'm preparing for IBPS RRB exam. Can I have an individual plan with timings for this? Well, yes, you can join for the free coaching by TalentSprint. The details are given here. You can sign up on talentsprint.com/RBI, where we will add up study plans for RBI exam and also for the IBPS RRB exams, notification of which was released a few days ago, right? So make sure that you sign up for talentsprint.com/RBI and get your study plan for each of these exams. Nitya says, we need live videos for SSC CGL exams. Nitya, I am not sure if you are a TalentSprint student already, but the TalentSprint students have live sessions for SSC CGL exams, which have started, I think 2nd July, yesterday itself. And we'll be having 4 sessions every week for SSC CGL preparation, along with a lot of practice tests and all near mock exams. Alright, I think that's about it. The other question that I see have already been covered in the session today, or you can just look at the notification. Answers are all there. So guys, all the very best for your preparation for RBI Grade B. I'm sure this is a great opportunity to get started with a career in banking, and RBI no doubt is the most sought after. RBI Grade B officers, one of the most sought after jobs in the country today. So prepare well, start your preparation right away, and take very good care of yourselves, right? Health and being healthy is very important. So be healthy and keep practicing, because the more you practice, the easier it gets. I'll keep meeting you guys through these live sessions. Our other friends from TalentSprint will also take up live sessions, right, on English language, quantitative aptitude, and other sections there. So just make sure that you all subscribe to the channel and sign up for the free coaching, so that you don't miss out on any of these live classes that we conduct, and you can also enjoy the free videos that we have for all of you. All right, keep practicing, take very good care of yourselves. I'll see you all in the next session. Bye.